Hello everybody. Welcome back to another session on logic development. We are discussing concept of loops. In the process, we have seen all the three different types of loops. We have also taken example of nested loops. I had given one assignment and I see only Ashish submitting it. Anyone else who has solved this particular assignment? Before that, can somebody tell me what was the question?
Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, can somebody tell me what was the question?
Sir, question was write a pseudocode,
Huh?
accept the integer n and print factors of all integers 1 to n.
Okay, so you expect to display factors of all integers in the range of 1 to n. So if I give a number as 100, from 1 to 100, whatever numbers we have, every numbers, all factors are factorials or factors?
Factors.
Yes.
Factors. So we wanted to print factors. So I see Viraj also submitting the solution. Others, what happened with others? Anyone else who has solved other than Viraj and Ashish? Everybody should be solving.
So मैंने वो क्या बोलते हैं pseudocode लिखा
So
है.
let's look at the two submissions that we have for this particular problem statement. One is which what Viraj has submitted. And he says define integer counter, base, power, result is 1. Please enter the. Hey Viraj, ये क्या है? This is my
सर
solution.
आपने बोला था ना वो आगे लिखना है.
अच्छा उसका ड्राई कर बोला.
हाँ हाँ.
Okay, ये ड्राई रन की है. Okay. Which example did I ask you to do dry run?
सर first one at the top.
This one?
Yes sir.
Let me see whether your dry run is correct. The result is set to value as 1. Then we have please enter the base, we accept the base, please enter the power, we accept the power. And for counter range of 1 to power 1, result will result into base. So 1 into 2 is 2, that's correct. Step 1, counter becomes 2. That's correct, counter becomes 2. 2 in the range of 1 to 4, yes, this remains 2 and 4. 1 to 4, 2 in the range of 1 to 4, hai kya? Yes, result to base. 2 into result is 2. The 1, 2 that we have written at the top. So 2 into 2 becomes 4, that's correct. And step 1 it becomes 3, 3 into 3, and then 4 into 2 becomes 8, 8 into 2 becomes 16. Perfect, Viraj, very good. So I understood how to do the dry run. Okay. How many others have done the dry run?
सर वो आगे का फेल हो रहा था.
कौन सा फेल होगा?
सर जो
सर
आपने
नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में
प्रॉब्लम
कोड ही गलत है.
हाँ टर्म इक्वल टू 1 वो भी गलत.
तो ये सॉल्यूशन गलत है? What we
हाँ,
had
सर.
discussed?
यस सर यस सर
Okay, इसका भी मैंने आपको ड्राई रन ही करने बोला था. Yes or no?
यस.
यस सर ड्राई
Okay. So let's see.
करेक्ट है क्या नहीं.
Correct है फिर गलत है?
ये गलत है.
गलत है. So let's see why is it wrong. 1:1 is 1, 2:2 is 2, 4:3 is 3 is 27, 4:4 is 56. सही तो है? क्या गलत?
सर एक बार प्रॉपर चेक कीजिए.
नहीं.
नहीं
It may be wrong. I want the proof. but ये proof तो सही बता रहा है.
सर वो लिखा है.
सर आपका लॉजिक क्या था?
सर
लॉजिक कुछ भी हो, ये जो कोड लिखा है इसको आपको ट्रेस करना है. तो यहाँ तो आपने डायरेक्टली आंसर ले लिया है. दिस यस दिस
जो फर्स्ट फॉर लूप लिखा है ना हमने, वहाँ
हाँ.
पे कैलकुलेट टर्म इनिशियलाइज 1 किया है. वहाँ अगर रिजल्ट इक्वल्स टू 1 कर दे तो वो सही रन होता है.
Very correct. That was a mistake because every time you are multiplying this value, okay, so your term variable result is equal to term is in this particular range. Term should not have been set to value 0, 1. That is very correct what Bhagesh has identified. Only change should have been over here as result is equal to 1. And then you should have been doing the dry run. The purpose of doing dry run is to understand. देखो यहाँ term equal to 1 लिखा है. That means after every pass term should become 1. तो यहाँ भी 1 चाहिए था, यहाँ भी 1 चाहिए था, यहाँ भी 1 चाहिए था, यहाँ भी 1 चाहिए था. You would have immediately understood where is the mistake. So when you do the dry run,
sir.
you immediately identify कहाँ गलती है. बोलो.
सर वो एक ही रिजल्ट दिखा रहा था 1 1 1 या
Of course,
फिर
एक ही बताएगा. Because term का वैल्यू हमेशा 1 ही रहेगा. because
हाँ,
ये
sir.
step 1 अगर कर रहे हो and again you are saying term equal to 1, so remember what a point to be taken into consideration. If you're using for loop, which is arithmetic loop, the loop control variable for loop should not be changed inside the body of the loop. And the mistake over here was that loop control variable term was changed inside the body of the loop. So that was a mistake. So note करके रखो, in for loop, whatever is your loop control variable, its value should not be altered inside the body of the loop because it is automatically going to get incremented or decremented by whatever value you specify. So in that case, the mistake was over here. Term is equal to 1. So that was a mistake that was done. So Bhagyashree, good work. But then Bhagyashree, yeah, I say identify here with dry run you have identified. Bhagyashree, dry run किया क्या नहीं किया?
सर ड्राई रन भी किया था और फ्लोगोरिथम में भी करके देखा था मैंने.
एक करा तो काफी नहीं किया, खुद पे कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं, ड्राई रन करने के बाद ये गलत है. So why should you do the फ्लोगोरिथम में दोबारा करने की क्या जरूरत है? Anyway, so let's do the correction. Here we go. And then look at the problem that was given to you. Here, it should not be term is equal to this. It should be a result is equal to 1. Now let's do the dry run for this. Anybody who has done the dry run? Okay. Okay. So let's see the dry run. The dry run is going to be slightly lengthy. So I'm going to take less number of terms. Huh? So ज़्यादा terms नहीं लूँगा मैं. I'll take less number of terms so that you can quickly see the dry run. So suppose this is the example. We want the result of 1:1, 2:2, 3:3, 4:4. If I say 3, I should get the result of the first 3 terms. If I say 4, I should get the result of first 4 terms. Watch, this will be very interesting solution to come up with. So first, we draw our regular picture. So if you want to have a dry run, you'll have to have this. Okay, so let's begin. Now we have some variables. First is our output over here. Then next comes our number of terms. I just say no terms. Then we have counter. Then we have counter. Then we have a variable called as, before counter, I'll take variable called as term. Then I have counter and we have result. None of the variable have been initialized. But since no variable has been initialized, all of them will be having some garbage value. All the variables having garbage value. As user, how many terms do you want from the following series? So user says you would like to have 4 terms from the following series. I'm doing partial dry run, which you will have to complete. Huh? User says I would like to have 4 terms from the following series. So now when we come to this for loop for term in the range of 1 to number of terms. Now tell me what will the first value for term be?
1 sir.
Term का initial value क्या रहेगा?
1.
1. Very correct. And then we say 1 in the range of 1 to number of terms, 1 in the range of 1 to 4, true or false? 1 in the range of 1 to 4,
True.
true hai. So we come inside and we make a result as 1. We say reset result as 1. And then we say counter is equal to for counter in the range of 1 to term. Now tell me what will the first value of counter be?
1.
1.
1.
Now we are checking, is 1 in the range of 1 to term, 1 to 1? Is 1 in the
Yes.
range of 1 to 1?
Yes.
Yes. So we go inside result into term. So tell me result into term. So 1 into 1, what will the result be?
1.
1.
1. The result will be 1. Your number of terms will still be 4. Your terms are still 1. And the result has also come out to be 1. But after doing this, we are saying step 1. So counter ka value will be incremented by 1 and counter now becomes 2. Now tell me, is 2 in the range of 1 to 1?
False.
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 So we come outside and we say result, comma. So what is your value of result right now?
1.
1. So 1 is printed. So after we have printed one, we have printed one because this loop was false. So we come out, we print one. Now we'll go to the outer loop and we say step one. Now when we say this step one, which value will get incremented? Tell me.
Term value.
Term value will get incremented. So from 1, it will now become 2. After it becomes 2, is 2 in the range of 1 to number of terms? 1 to 4. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 4?
Yes.
Yes. So we come inside and result is again reset to value as 1. So result को आपने दोबारा reset कर लिया with value as 1. Result को दोबारा reset कर लिया with value as 1. That's the second pass that we have started. Huh? And then counter is again reset to value as 1. Can you see that?
Yes,
For
sir.
counter in the range of 1 to number of terms, 1 to terms, counter is again set to value as 1. Again we go inside. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 2? Now terms ka value is 2. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 2? So the second time this operation of multiplication will happen 2 times. Because term ka value is 2. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 2?
Yes.
Yes. So we go inside result into term. So बताइए result into term, what value will you get right now?
2.
2. And you are correct. ये 2 है. So this will become 2. And then you will say step 1. So counter now becomes 2. Now is 2 in the range of 1 to 2? Is 2 in the range of 1 to 2?
Yes.
Yes. So we go inside result into term. तो बताइए result term का आंसर क्या आएगा?
4.
4 आएगा. Very correct. So here the answer will now be 4. The answer comes out to 4. And then step 1. Step 1 होने पर counter का value will now become
3.
3. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 2? Term का value 2 है देखो. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 2?
False.
False. We come out of the loop and we display the value of result. What's the value of result right now?
4.
4 has now been displayed. After displaying 4, we go back and we say step 1. That will increase the value of the variable called as terms. ये terms की value अभी इस बार दोबारा change करेगा. ये 4 ही था. Here it will now become 4, whereas this will now become 3. This will now become 3. Result will again be set to value as 1. Result will be set to value as 1. Then we say counter in the range of 1 to term. Term 3 है. So counter in the range of 1 to term. So 1 से लेके term तक. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
True है. अंदर आए. Result equals result into term. बताइए result into term का क्या आंसर आएगा?
3.
3 आएगा. Very correct. तो term का value 3 है. Result into term कहोगे, so that will also become 3. That will also become 3. After it becomes 3, step 1, that will increment the value of counter by 1. So counter will now become 2. Second pass. Counter now becomes 2. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3? Term का value 3 है. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
True है. अंदर आए result into term. बताइए result into term का आंसर क्या आएगा?
9.
9 आएगा. That's very correct. तो यहाँ 3 की जगह ये 3 रहेगा और यहाँ बन गया 9. Here it becomes 9. And then this step 1 that will increment the value of counter by 1. So counter now becomes 3. And we check, is 3 in the range of 1 to term? 1 to
Yes.
3? Yes. So we go inside, we say result is equal to result into term. So the number of terms अभी भी 4 ही है. Terms अभी भी 3 है. But result is result into term. 9 3s it now becomes 27. After becoming 27, counter is incremented and counter now becomes 4. So we now check, is 4 in the range of 1 to 3?
False.
False. If it is false, we come out of the loop and we print the answer that is 27. ये जो आपका answer 27 था, that answer 27 we have printed. After printing 27, we go back and we increment the value of this variable term. So when we increment the value of the variable term, a number of terms is always going to remain fixed. But now terms value becomes 4. The result is again reset to value as 1. Result is reset to value as 1. Counter also becomes 1. Again we start. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 4?
True.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Result is equal to result into term. So when I say result into term, while this number of terms is still 4, term ka value is still 4, result ka value now becomes 4. It becomes 4. After it becomes 4, we say step 1, that will increment the value of counter by 1. So counter value now becomes 2. Now tell me, is 2 in the range of 1 to 4?
Yes.
True.
True है. So if it is true, We go inside. Result is equal to result into term. राहुल आप बताइए आप आंसर क्या आएगा रिजल्ट में?
4 into 4,
क्या आएगा रिजल्ट?
16.
16 आ जाएगा. That's very correct. It will be 16. And then we say step 1 counter is incremented by 1, so it becomes 3. Counter becomes 3. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 4?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. 3 is in the range of 1 to 4. So we go inside. Result is equal to result into term. So विराज आप बताइए आंसर क्या आएगा नेक्स्ट? रिजल्ट में क्या स्टोर होगा?
64.
64 store होगा. That's very correct. 64 store होगा. After storing 64, counter is going to get incremented by 1. It becomes 4. Is 4 in the range of 1 to 4? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
True है. So to go inside, result is equal to result into term. तो result into term हो जाएगा. तो ये आपका count number of terms is still 4. Terms is still 4. And this becomes 64 into 4. 64 into 4 will now be
256.
256. It becomes 256 and counter plus plus counter becomes 5. Now
5.
tell me, is 5 in the range of 1 to 4?
False.
Calls. We come outside, we print the answer that is 256. 256 हम लोग print कर दिए. After print 256, after print 256, we go here in step 1. So when I say step 1, we get incremented. Tell me, क्या increment होगा?
Number of terms.
No, number of terms is 4. Always.
Counter plus plus.
No, term. If term in the range of 1 to
Number of
number of
terms.
terms. So the variable term का value will get incremented. Term now becomes 5. Now tell me, is 5 in the range of 1 to 4?
False.
False है. False है तो आप loop में से बाहर आओगे and will stop. So we have printed 1, 4, 27 and 256 is what has been printed. 1:1, 2:2, 3:3, 4:4 is what we have printed. Have you all understood this? Quick feedback, everybody. कौन है आप में से जिसको नहीं समझ में आया? Tell me, let me know. Okay. रोहित क्या नहीं समझ में आ गया? You found it fast?
Sir, mouse issue.
Okay. Let
सर
me
दो
share the
वेरिएबल का
बोलो.
दो वेरिएबल नंबर ऑफ टर्म और टर्म
हाँ.
वो वेरिएबल हमने लिए लेकिन वो कैसे
Are you asking me?
decide के
Are you
दो
wait, wait, wait. Are you asking me or you're suggesting something?
आस्किंग सर वो मतलब डिसाइड कैसे किया कि वो नंबर ऑफ टर्म और टर्म ये दो
हाँ.
वेरिएबल लगेंगे हमने
Means you give some other name also. That's also okay. So the outer for loop was to check whether you have got that number of terms correctly. The inner for loop was to that term raised to term, that 3:3, 4:4, 5:5. That is what is being calculated. So this is calculating that 1:1, 2:2. But how many such numbers? The outer value is counting that. Outer loop is counting that.
ओके
So if you find that variable name term confusing, so I cannot say both the places counter ना. यहाँ भी मैं counter लिखूंगा और यहाँ भी counter लिखूंगा. That's not possible ना. So both the loops cannot have same name, variable names.
वेरिएबल का कुछ नहीं मतलब
Louder?
दो लूप लिए हाँ दो लूप लिया ना वो
हाँ.
कंफ्यूजिंग हो रहा था
तो
वो
तो
ठीक
जरूरी
है आप
है
भी
यहाँ.
समझे सर
अभी
हाँ.
समझा? Because एक लूप से क्या होता है? 1, 2, 3, 4 प्रिंट कर सकते हैं. But the outer loop is only changing the value of terms. Terms कहाँ से change हो रहा है? 1, 2, 3, 4 term. But inner loop में we are calculating the result of that 1:1, 2:2, 3:3. Term का value पहली बार 1 था, तो यहाँ 1:1 का आंसर फाइंड किया गया. Term का value 2 था, तो here we have calculated the result of 2:2. Term का value 3 है, तो here in the inner loop we have calculated the result of 3:3 and so on. Is that okay, संजय?
यस यस ओके
Okay. फिर भी कोई डाउट है तो पूछेगा. I don't mind discussing it again. So what I'll do is, since we have made some changes to this particular board, I'll first quickly share it. I don't know whether next thing that we'll be doing is a pseudocode or a flowchart. I will quickly share it first. And if it gets updated, then I'll share the updated one as well later. Here I share. Have you all received the pseudocode or the diagram for that particular pseudocode? Okay. Let's go ahead with the solution for the next problem statement that was given. The next problem statement was saying, accept integer and display factors of all integers in the range of 1 to n. So let me see the solution first. One solution Viraj has come up with. So let's have a look at Viraj's solution first.
Sir, mine is incomplete.
Yours is incomplete. Okay. Then we had another one that came from Ashish. Let's see what has Ashish done. He says declare in an integer num, integer factor, integer counter, integer var, limit is equal to 1. Okay. Enter an integer. Enter an integer. He accepts integer. He displays 1. So for counter in the range of 2 to num, step 1. Question क्या था? Factors find करने के सारे. So 1 का factor is 1. That is what he's trying to display for the first time. Is that right, Viraj? Ashish?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So you could have directly said factor of so and so is, and then you could have displayed 1. So next time saying counter in the range of 2 to something, 2 to number of steps. So 1 का factor तो आपने वैसे ही print कर लिया. So he's checking for all the factors, for factors of all the numbers in the range of 2 to num. If I give number as 10, so 1 का factor 1 is already printed. So he's starting with 2. So 2 से लेके 10 तक के सारे numbers के factors print करेंगे. So he initializes factor to value as 1. And he takes counter as limit as counter divided by 2. So limit as counter divided by 2. So counter value for the first time is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, तो पहले नंबर का फैक्टर वो फाइंड करना चाहता है, तो 1 का फैक्टर पहले फाइंड करेंगे. तो फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आशीष, फर्स्ट टाइम काउंटर का वैल्यू 2 था, तो 2 डिवाइड बाय 2 इज 1. तो लिमिट नाउ बिकम्स 1. तो where in the range of 1 to 1, is that true or false?
True.
True है. Okay, it is true. So we go inside and we say counter mod var is equal to 0. Is 2 mod 1, is that equal to 0?
True.
True. So you're saying var is equal to factor and display factor. Why are you doing that? Why aren't you directly saying display var? Ashish? Ashish?
We can do it.
Unnecessary हो गया ना? You store the value of the variable var into factor and then you are displaying it. What if I directly said over here, और इसी को मैं समझो factor ही बोल देता या var है, I could have got rid of this. Tell me, will it make any difference according to your logic? अगर मैं यहाँ display var कर देता वही तो factor ही print करे. We have already done that. अगर है तो यहाँ ये display var, will that not work?
It will, sir.
Yes or no, Ashish?
Yes, sir, it will.
Okay, so हमने display var कर लिया, 2 का factor 1 print कर लिया, and step 1 count now becomes 2. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 1, condition is false, we come out and we display counter value 2 था तो display किया 2 because 2 is a factorial of 2. ये print कर लिया. After we come out of this for loop, we go here and we increment the value of counter, that becomes 3. Factor is again reset to 1. So this factor was not at all required. इसकी हमें जरूरत ही नहीं थी. तो we say, or rather ये var की जरूरत नहीं है, var को हटा देते हैं and we will write over here the factor is var kind of thing. So I could print a message. Here I could print a message. I would rather not use this as well. Achha, he's taking 1 divided by 2. That could become 0.5. And 1 in the range of 1 to 0.5. That condition will be false.
Yes, sir,
So
it will
it's
be.
anyway going to display counter over here. So this was also not required, Ashish. And I could have started off with 1. And I could give this. देखते हैं,
Condition में.
hold it एक मिनट देखते हैं. और यहाँ मैं लेता हूँ समझो factor The factors of counter are as follows. Counter value for the first time is 1. I'm saying factors of 1 are as follows. ये सारे एक एक करते हुए मैंने factors print कर दिए. ये सारे factors print कर लिए. So next time, suppose let's see first time. Counter value for the first time is 1. So we check is 1 in the range of 1 to suppose num is 3. Yeah, num is 10. So is 1 in the range of 1 to 10? Yes. The limit is 1 divided by 2. 1 divided by 2 is like 0.5. Okay. Limit. The factor of 1 are as follows. So is factor in the range of 1 to limit.
Excuse me,
1
sir.
to pardon?
Sir, actually, I am having major network issues. So, will you please excuse me if I rejoin again and again?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So for factor in the range of 1 to a limit ka value फिलहाल for the first time could be like could say integer division by 2 is 0 and floating point division it will be 0.5. So since these are all variables of integer, 1 divided by 2 will be giving you 0. So factor in the range of 1 to 0, step 1. Now if the first value is larger than the second, you cannot say step positive value. So this for loop will be false for the first time. Because with step, the first value here, start, has to be smaller than stop. Because from the smaller value will go on incrementing to the larger value. So this condition is false and we print counter value is 1. The factor of 1 is 1 that has now been printed. After printing that, we go here and say step 1, counter now becomes 2. The limit becomes 2 divided by 2, that is 1. So we're saying factor of 2 are as follows. And we say for factor in the range of 1 to 2, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. So 2 mod 1 is that equal to 0? Yes, we display that particular factor. That is for 2, the factor for 2 is 1, that has been displayed. After displaying that, we go here and we say step 1, counter now, factor now becomes 2. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 1, condition is false. We come out and we display counter, that is 2. So this is a right kind of solution to begin with. So I'm going to take this and add it to this flowchart itself. Let's accept an integer n and print all the factors of all integers in the range of 1 to n. यानी 1 to n के अंदर के सारे integers के सारे factors print कर लो. Whatever were the factors of all the integers. So this is how you would have done it. So logic क्या था? We'll take a counter that will vary from 1 to number. So a number 100 or 1 to 100. We'll take limit. This was a smart work that Ashish has done because largest factor of any number other than itself is half of the number. So it takes half of the number. And then factor of counter are as follows. Factor of counter for the first time is 1. The factors of 1 are as follows. And then we try and find factor of 1. The only factor of 1 is 1 right now. So 1 divided by, for the first time this condition is false. We come out and we display counter. Counter value is 1. So 1 is the only factor that is there, that has been displayed. So likewise, we will continue. तो आपके लिए असाइनमेंट ये रहेगा आज वापस इसका भी ड्राइविंग करके आपको देखना है. When we're doing integer division 2 divided by 2 या 1 divided by 2, either you can say answer is 0.5 अगर floating point division है और integer division है तो answer is 0. So if the divisor is larger than the dividend, then integer division में answer will be 0. So that's how it is. Have a look at this particular code and let me know if you have understood it or not. And the best way to understand this kind of codes now is to do the dry run. Because dry run is a proof, not just of the correctness of the solution or the incorrectness of the solution. It's also a proof about your understanding of the solution. If you can do the dry run, that means probably understood what is happening in that particular code. So आपके लिए वापस एक एक्सरसाइज रहेगा, इसका ड्राई रन आपको करना रहेगा. So that will help you to understand what was the requirement. So the assignments have been taken care of. Now for sake of practice, I'll take few more examples. Now the next set of examples that I'll be taking over here are with an objective of making आशी जो संजय ने कहा सर ये लूप के अंदर लूप आ रहा है, so it is becoming confusing. So for the very same purpose, so that you gain the comfort level in that, I'll take some simple examples ताकि आपको एक comfort level आ जाए. Correct? But how am I going to do that? I'm going to write a code. उल्टा करेंगे. I'm going to write a code, and all of you are going to do the dry run for that particular code. I'll break you out in the teams. और टीम में ब्रेक करने के बाद आपको क्या करना है तो उसका ड्राई रन कंप्लीट करना है. Okay with that, everybody? I'll not explain you the logic. I'll not tell you the problem statement. I'll only write a code. Okay. And then you do the dry run for it. Okay. Or for the first time, what I'll do is I'll come up with a pseudocode of logarithm so that you will have an idea as to how it is really working. Okay. So let's jump ahead with an example. And I'll do pseudocode only, I'll write, and you do the dry run for it. Huh? You do the dry run for it. And then I'll do some, I'll show you how it really works, and we'll see whose answer is right. So watch me as I write the code and try and guess what am I doing. आपको guess करना मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. क्वेश्चन क्या है यही आपको guess करना है actually. The way I'm writing the problem the statements should be giving you a hint as to what is happening. Huh? Will definitely give a hint. But I only be happy if you do the dry run and show me. If you're going to increment by 1, the writing step 1 is not compulsory at all. It's a good practice though to write step value. So this is a simple statement that has now been written. Now I'm going to break you out in the rooms. I'm going to share this thing with you immediately, break you out in the rooms, and you all are going to solve this particular problem statement solution problem for me. So here I go. I'll share this solution with you all by taking a snap. Like always, do the discussion and let me know what is happening there. Meanwhile, I'll keep something ready for you. So this is a solution that you have, and you're going to do the dry run for it. I plan to break you out in the rooms. So how many people you would like to have in the room? 3 people? Yeah, 4 people. I think 3 would be the best choice, 3 or 4. So all groups will have 3 people, only one group will have 4 people. So we automatically assign. So the rooms are open for all of you. Please discuss the solution while you make an attempt to solve it. तो डिस्कस करके सॉल्व कीजिएगा. ड्राई रन करना है. सॉरी. So join your rooms and do the dry run quickly. संजय रूम ज्वाइन कीजिएगा. Did you watch any of the recordings? Record होते कि नहीं? Record होते नहीं तो जरूरी होते. Record के अंदर. Share your solutions with me, everybody. Come on, other teams, share your solution. Team 1 has shared the solution. Let me have a look at the solution of other teams. I share the file. इसे डाउनलोड कर सकते हो उधर and share it.
सर वो ये हो गया आपने एक्चुअली मेन मीट में है ना तो सेव इन फाइल
Okay, so दिखाओ स्क्रीन दिखाओ चलो.
वही उसमें आएगा.
Screen share करो.
And the
Others, do it fast. Why is it taking so long?
the breakout room were closed, so we couldn't save the file. The whiteboard got erased.
Erased.
Yes, like I don't have.
So I will open up the room once again. Just see whether your whiteboard is still there. So now, एक मिनट गिरा था वेट कर.
हम लोग मेन रूम में ना.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we have 2 different set of answers. One of the team has got this answer. Rather, all other teams have got this answer, and only one team has got this answer. It just doesn't. It's such a big one. Okay, let's see which team has got it right. So I'll open up the board once again and let's do the dry run for this particular solution so that we can understand what is the question. Here you go. So I'm going to keep it simple and let's take the variables what we need. So we have only three variables: total rows, row counter, and column counter. There are only three rows that we have. We have three rows that we have. So I'm going to keep this question right in front and we start like always. So this and this, two things. And looks like one of the team has got a lot of answers. So let's make a provision in case agar unka sahi rahe to. And here we go. And we have three variables: total rows, row counter, and column counter. So let's take three variables. First is the output. Then we have total rows. Output is here, total rows. We have row counter and we have column counter. So these are various variables that we have. उदय आपकी टीम का आंसर भी वही था?
सर ये पहले वाला था ना जो वर्ड
कौन
फाइल
सा?
में था, वर्ड
ये
फाइल
या वर्ड फाइल वाला?
नहीं वर्ड फाइल वाला सर। हाँ सर ये वाला।
Okay, let's see.
दूसरा वाला।
Okay. Here, these three variables have not been initialized. So most of you have forgot to specify the initial value for the variable. So there was no initial value for these variables. So all of them were garbage value. We don't know what the values are. And then we start. We ask user to enter total number of rows. You cannot take total number of rows for testing purposes one. Selection of testing value is also very important. One matlab you are just like you would like to print only one number from that particular series, one row from that particular series. Not a very good idea. Come soon 3, 4 kuch to lo. Suppose I take total number of rows as 3. So I want to print 3 rows from that particular series. So total number of rows is 3. Total number of 3. So we say for row counter in the range of 1 to total rows. And a row counter initial value now becomes 1. It becomes 1. Because we are saying for row counter in the range of 1 to total number of rows. So total number is 3 hai. A 1 se shuru karenge. And then we come inside the for loop, a inner for loop, and we're saying for column counter in the range of 1 to total rows. So column counter will also be set to value as 1. So row counter is also set to value as 1. Column counter is also set to value as 1. Now we check, is column counter 1 in the range of 1 to row counter, 1 to total rows, total row is 3. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 3, row counter in the range of 1 to 3. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
True hai. True hai, so we go inside and we display the row counter. Row counter ka current value is 1. So value 1 has now been displayed. The value 1 हमने display कर दिया. After displaying this value row counter 1, ये step 1 से row column counter will get increment. You are still inside the inner for loop. Since you are there inside the inner for loop, when the inner loop ka condition becomes false, here I go. When we print this, step 1 will increment the value of this particular column counter. So column counter's value will now become 2. While your total number of rows probably are still 3, row counter probably still 1, but this column counter value has now become 2. Now we are checking, is 2 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3? Condition is still true. Yeah, true here. Is column counter has become 2? Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3? Yes. So we go inside and display row counter. What's the value of row counter?
1.
Row counter की value क्या है?
1
1 sir.
1 है. So 1 यहाँ print हो जाएगा. After printing this row counter, step 1, that will increment the value of column counter by 1. So column counter का value 1 से increment होगा. This is still 3. This is still 3. This is still 1. But this now becomes 3. This now becomes 3. So we check, is 3 in the range of 1 to 3? Total number of rows are 3. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
True, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes,
True.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we go inside and display row counter. तो row counter का value क्या है?
One, sir.
1.
1 है. 1 is being printed and then we are going to increment the column counter by 1. Step 1 है. अभी भी inner for loop में हो. So inner for loop में this is still this is still 1 and here it now becomes 4. Now we check. Is 4 in the range of 1 to 3?
False.
False.
So when this condition becomes false, we come out of this for loop and we go here and we say step 1 that will display increment the value of row counter by 1. यानी अगली बार जब आप आ रहे हो आगे अभी यहाँ your total number of rows are still 3 but row counter now becomes 1 की जगह it now becomes 2
Two.
and it becomes 2. Now we check, is 2 in the range of 1 to 3? Total rows 3 है. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we come inside, column counter is again set to value as 1. Column counter का value दोबारा 1 हो गया. Again we check, is 1 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
True है. True है, तो we go inside and display row counter. Tell me what is the value of row counter right now?
1.
Row counter value क्या है?
2. Yes, sir.
2 है. So display value 2. After displaying value 2, step 1 will increment कौन सा counter? Row counter या column counter?
Column counter. Column counter.
Column.
Column counter will get incremented. So column counter will now get incremented. This is still 3. This is still 2. Whereas column counter will now become 2.
2.
Now we check. Is 2 in the range of 1 to 3?
True.
Yes.
Yes.
True,
True.
sir. True.
So we'll say display row counter. So row counter का value क्या है फिलहाल?
2.
2 है. So again display value is 2. And display value is 2. And then we check. We'll display value as 2. And then we say step 1. Step 1 में column counter will get incremented by 1 again. So here we are.
3.
Row ये total number of 3 है. Row counter 2 ही है.
2.
Whereas the column counter has now become 3. Now we
3.
check. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 3?
Yes.
Yes.
अगर true है तो we display the row counter. Row counter का value क्या है फिलहाल?
3.
2 ही है.
Oh,
2,
sorry.
2.
The 2 will get printed. After print 2, we'll say step 1. That will again increment the column counter by 1. Column counter by 1 increment करेगा तो your total number of rows अभी भी 3 ही है. Row counter का value अभी भी 2 ही है.
2. Yes.
Whereas this column counter has now become 4.
4.
Now tell me, is 4 in the range of 1 to 3?
No. No.
False. So when it becomes false, we come out of this for loop, inner for loop, and we go to the outer for loop. Outer for loop will increment value of row counter by
Row
1.
counter.
So this is still 3. Value of row counter now becomes 3. Value of row counter now becomes 3. Becomes 3. And then we check. Is 3 in the range of 1 to 3?
Yes.
Yes. So we go inside. For column counter in the range of 1 to total number of rows. So column counter value now becomes 1. Column counter value now becomes 1. We check. Is 1 in the range of 1 to 3?
Yes.
Yes. If it is true, we display the row counter. What's the value of row counter right now?
3.
3. So we'll print 3. After it has printed 3, step 1 will increment the column counter by 1. So value of column counter will be incremented by 1. This is still 3. This is still 3. Whereas column counter ka value will now become 2. We'll check. Is 2 in the range of 1, 2, 3?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll go inside and display the row counter. What's the value of row counter?
3.
2. 2 hai row counter?
3. 3.
3. We'll print 3. After printing 3, step 1. The moment you say step 1, row counter will get incremented by 1.
Yes.
Yes or
No,
no?
column counter.
Column counter will get incremented by 1. So we go to the next line. Row count, total number of rows are still 3. Row counter is still 3. We are on the third row. And then on the third row, we are displaying, we are incrementing the value of column counter by 3. We say, is 3 in the range of 1 to 3?
Yes.
Yes. So we display the row counter. Row counter 3 hai, so we display 3. We display 3. After we have displayed 3, we say step 1. Step 1 will increment the column counter ka value by 1. So value of column counter, this is still 3. This is still 3. Whereas this one becomes 4. Now is 4 in the range of 1 to 3?
False.
False hai. So we come out of this for loop. So when you come out of this for loop, we'll go to the outer for loop. Inner for loop से बाहर आने पर we'll go to the outer for loop. Total number of rows is still 3, but outer for loop में when I say step 1, again the column count will get incremented.
Row counter will become
Row
4.
counter will get incremented. That will now become 4. That will now become 4. Now tell me, is 4 in the range of 1 to 3?
False.
False.
False. We come out of the stop. So we have said 1 3 times, 2 3 times, and 3 3 times. Like these guys, this team had taken total number was 4. So you know display क्या 1 4 times, ये 1 4 times, 2 4 times, 3 4 times, and 4 4 times. Have you all understood this? Nested loop कैसे
Yes.
trace करें हम लोग?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll draw one logarithm flowchart draw करता हूँ for nested for loop. उसका आप dry run दोबारा कीजिएगा. That will be another exercise for you. You're going to do the dry run for one more example that I come up with. Okay. So, or let's do this way. I'll give you a problem statement, and you come up with a flow chart for it. उसका flow chart आप या pseudo code ही बनाइए. चलो, you come with a pseudo code for it. Now ये अगर आपको समझ में आ गया है, so on the same lines, so this was printing like 1 1 1 3 times, then 2 2 2, and then 3 3 3. Although here there was no chance for me to say go to the next line, but in Flogorithm आपके पास है new line पे जाओ कहने के लिए आपके पास choice है. तो new line पे जाओगे तो नए line पे वो print करेगा. Okay, but let's come with a simple solution, a simple problem statement, wherein you're going to print certain things, similar nested loops, just that I'm going to twist it slightly. So while this was printing one time, one first row, I printed 1 3 times, 2 3 times, and 3 3 times because total number of rows were 3. If it was 4, then 1 4 times, 2 4 times, 3 4 times it was printed. So that was the solution. So yeah, series tha. Here I could have said तो हमें उस सीरीज में से n रोज प्रिंट करने थे और आपकी सीरीज कैसी थी तो लेट अस टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ अ सीरीज एज वेल हाउ इज योर सीरीज if n is equal to 4 अगर ऐसा है तो आपका सीरीज था 1 1 1 and 1 1 and next रो पे मुझे चाहिए था 2 2 2 and 2. Here since I am writing pseudocode there was no way I can specify go to the next line. So actually in our case it's getting printed as like this. ऐसे प्रिंट होगा बट अगर मेरे पास न्यू लाइन देने का चांस था तो आई वुड हैव सेड दिस इज हाउ इट गेट प्रिंटेड. Okay, 1 4 times, 2 4 times, 3 4 times, and 4 4 times is what we have printed. In this case, it will appear as if you are printing everything in one line, but that was precisely the question. So here, if n is 4, but if n is 3, it was like 1 3 times, 2 3 times, 3 3 times, and 4 3 times, and so on. All the numbers that many number of times. So I'm going to give you such a series, और आपको मुझे उसका pseudo code और उसका flow chart दोनों ड्रॉ करके देना है. So this was question number 1. अब एक नया क्वेश्चन ये जो सीरीज आप क्रिएट करोगे. So accept an integer n and print first n rows from the following series. तो आपका सीरीज कैसा है अभी? Watch it very carefully. If n is 4, I want the answer as let's keep it simple for the first time. This is what I want you to do. So come with a pseudocode for this. So I'm sharing this problem statement with you all. Problem has been shared with you all.
And only pseudocode, na?
Pardon?
Only pseudocode.
Only pseudocode. Yeah, pseudocode and its proof whether you have done it right or not. So no solution will ever be accepted unless you give me a proof of correctness of your algorithm. So, and this is not just with
Sure.
me. Even when you go into organization, they will ask you for the correctness. Proof batao, ye kaise sahi hai. Okay. So pseudocode and its testing. That means it's the dry run is what I want. So again, any other question, anybody, before I break you out in the rooms? Okay. So here the rooms are open for you all. Room 1 में दो ही लोग कैसे?
सर एक मिनट कॉपी
Louder? मैं रूम में भी देता आपको पढ़ डोंट वरी आई विल
सर
यस प्लीज
सर मैं रूम 1 में था एक्चुअली मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया इसके लिए
कॉपी नहीं हो रहा है सर ये
डाउनलोड कर लो ना क्लिक करके सेकंड इमेज दिया है वो डाउनलोड कर लो
ओ
कॉपी होगा ना सेकंड इमेज दिया है वो डाउनलोड कर लो क्लिक करो डाउनलोड कर लो आशीष आशीष ने दोस्तों आपका क्या प्रॉब्लम है
रूम 1 में था सर मैं एक्चुअली डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था अभी इसलिए ऑटोमेटिक
ज्वाइन करो
Sir, I didn't get the room to join.
आशीष आप कौन से रूम में था
रूम 2 में था.
मोनिका which room?
रूम 2
मोनिका
रूम 2
संजय संजय room
सेम
कौन सा है?
सेम रूम 2
एक मिनट तो संजय सर रूम 2 में गए तो अंकिता आई पुट इनटू रूम 4 all teams are expected to share the file solution. For and नहीं and for. Looks like all teams have got this thing right. Now look at this. There is an improvement for row counter in the range of 1 to 12 rows. Although step 1 is optional. Okay, although step 1 is optional. If you're incrementing by 1, then step 1 is optional. If you're incrementing anything other than 1, then step is compulsory. But it's a good practice to specify what is the step value. It's a good practice. Although the previous one was right, if you have to increment only by 1, you need not step. You need not write step. Step is optional to write. So it's a good practice to specify. Okay, so all of you have grown smart. All of you have got it right. I hope all of you also understood the solution. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you some simple set of assignments, which you individually going to solve on your own. So we'll stop here today, and there are some individual assignments that you have. Assuming that n ka value is 4, assuming it could be anything. N ka value is 4. First is, this is what you print: 1 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0 and 0 1 0 1. If n was 5, you would have printed one more 1 over here. You have printed one more 0 here. You have printed one more 1 over here and one more 0 here. If n was 5, and one more row here: 1 0 1 0 1. That's what you are doing if n is 5. I have given sample inputs when n is 4. Then the next one is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Next one is like 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 3 4 and 4. Next one is like 4 3 2 1 3 2 2 1 and 1. Okay. Next is like 4 4 3 4 3 2 4 3 2 1. So these are some simple exercises for you. And I tell you, those amongst you who do these exercises, everybody should be doing that exercise, but you'll be very comfortable with this concept of nested loop. These are not some word problems. These are only simple examples, just to make you comfortable with this particular topic, which is very commonly asked during interviews as well. But more than the interviews, it's like it is important for you to have that comfort level while you are performing such operations. So mainly, आपका comfort level is more important than anything else. So I have shared this particular problem statements with you all, and I hope you will come with the solutions for them tomorrow when we meet.
Sir.
तो ये solutions मैंने share किया आपके साथ, problem share किया है, download कर लीजिएगा program, and be ready with the solution for tomorrow. Have you all downloaded the file?
Yes.
And it becomes interesting अगर आप flowchart draw करोगे. So let me draw one flowchart and stop for today. Have a look at that flowchart for one of the problem statement. Again, yeah, Viraj, what's the question?
सर सेम करना है ना सूडो कोड और ड्राई रन.
Yeah, pseudocode and dry run. Because what happens is, now Rahul's team committed a mistake. They wrote a wrong code right now. But moment they started doing dry run, they realized what they are getting is not what they want. And so they immediately made a change. The objective of doing the dry run is not just to prove that your solution is correct, it's also to identify where have you gone wrong, so that you can take corrective action. So dry run is a must. Let's do one flowchart and see how to represent the same thing in form of a flowchart as well. And in flowchart, it becomes more interesting, especially in Flowgorithm, it becomes more interesting because we can see the final effect. Here I go. I'm going to solve one. Let's see what happens. I'll create some variables now. What all variables are required? Okay, before even I do that, let me tell you which one I'm solving, what problem am I addressing to. So I'll take a newer one rather than what we already taken. So these were the examples. I'll solve one example for you, which I'll put in over here. यहाँ मैं डाल देता हूँ. It's like printing stars. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 3, and the next row could be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if n is 4, this is what a right angle triangle is what I want to print. So that's what we are going to do right now. So I'm going to take row counter, which will vary for total number of rows. And every time step by one. So this is a row counter in the range of 1 to total number of rows. What you would like to do? Oh, every time we would like to do the same thing again. So I would like to start with a new row. So I'm just going to print output a blank, so that we go on to the next line. Here, I'm going to introduce one more for this. Here, I'll have the column counter, which we start from 1, and like what we did right now, we'll only go till the row counter. First time row is number is 1, so I want 1 star. Next time row number is 2, I want 2 star. Next time row number is 3, I want 3 star. Next time row number is 4, so I want 4 star. So I want go to only till row counter. Wherever. And every time I'm just going to display 1 star. I'm going to display a star on a space and no new line. So once I come out of this loop, then I'm going to print new line. I think I have done. Okay, or kuch nahi. If I run, okay, it says
Row counter.
let's see what's an error. Before you can store or read data from a variable, it must first be declared.
Row
तो
counter.
रो काउंटर क्या गलत है? रो COUNTR
डिक्लेयर नहीं
यहाँ रो नंबर लिखा है और यहाँ
हाँ।
रो काउंटर लिखा है. Variable name should be consistent. I enter number as 5. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to make it appear slightly better, I could add one more space over here. So it could just appear slightly better than what it was appearing earlier. Here I enter number of rows as 10. फिर आ गया 10 रो के लिए 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Likewise, it is displaying the result. Okay, so that could be a hint for you to solve the rest of the solutions as well. This I'll save it as for 12. I'm also sharing it for your quick reference. So take some time out and have a look at these examples that we have taken. Now let me know, can we meet early tomorrow? Is that possible? So instead of meeting at 8, can we do it 5:30 or 6 to 8 or something like that? Yes. Quick feedback, yes or no? Yes, तो tick करो, no तो cross करो. 5:30 or 6.
सर ये जो आपने प्रॉब्लम्स दिए इनका सिर्फ pseudo code चाहिए.
Pseudocodes and dry run.
Dry run.
Pseudocode and dry run. Okay, 6 o'clock, how many all can make it? If it is not 6, let's say 6 पूछा था मैंने. So many of you cannot make it, so we'll meet at regular time. Okay, so with that, we'll stop over here today. See you tomorrow.
सर
Yes, please.
सर वो आपने पहले जो सॉल्व किया था वो आपने डाला नहीं ना?
कौन सा पहला?
1 it was for 4 times.
एक मिनट, I'll
That's
share
fine.
that entire workbook again ना, workbook में है ना वो?
white board.
White board में सर, हाँ white board में.
सर आपने डाला था वो? ओके
No, I'll share it again ना for you. तो इसमें हमने कुछ additions भी किए हैं. So let me share the whiteboard with you. Have you received the whiteboard? Have you got the whiteboard?
यस सर.
Okay. Okay. So with that, we will stop here today. Apply yourself, solve these examples. Now, these were only for sake of practice. Huh? Listen to me, Mike, be very careful. These are only for sake of practice. Now, tomorrow I'll take some word problems where we'll have to use this feature. It will not be our printing rows and columns. A row and column queue is so that you understand how to control the loops. Now that if you understand how to control the loops, it will be time for us to take some word problems where you have to apply this concept. And it may not always be a for loop within a for loop. Some places will be while loop within a for loop. Sometimes it will be do while ke andar while loop. So those are the examples that I'll take tomorrow. Not this series example. These series examples are only for sake of practice, so that you get more control over for loop. That's the only purpose. That's the only purpose. More serious problems will come up tomorrow when we meet. So thank you all for the session today. See you tomorrow. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.